Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss about the introduction about the database management system. What is database management system, and then what are all the advantages of this? Why we are need to go for the database management system? These are the things we are going to discuss in this session. The DBMS, that is database management system, it's simply the collection of meaningful interrelated informations. So we can able to maintain the collection of programs to store and access the data in an easy and then very effective manner from the database. So why we need a DBMS means the first of all it can able to manage the huge amount of the data, and also we can store and then retrieve the data in a very easy and then effective manner. What is meant by data and information and database? So first we want to know the difference between these two things. Data means it's a raw factor. It's a meaningless things. For example, if I'm just mention 12 RAM and 20. So these are all doesn't give any information to us. Either it's a 1, 2 or 12, either it is a age or what, we don't know. Similarly, RAM, whether it is a RAM or otherwise it is a ROM as a name, we doesn't know. So this is a data. Information is giving the meaning for the data. The same thing. So 12 is the ID. RAM is the name, and 20 is the age of that RAM. So this is the information. Database means it's a collection of meaningful interrelated information. So that is called as a database. So we can maintain the database using the different softwares. Database management system, it's a software system which help us to store the data, retrieving and through the queries in an effective manner, and also the user can able to create and read the data, updation, deletions, all kind of the operation we can able to do that. The DBMS, it is a multi users we can able to access, that is managing the data, and then database schema allows for the data to manipulate or extracted by the user and other programs, and also it is supporting the multi-access, that is a data sharing is possible in this. So also it's providing the data security, integrity, and then concurrency controls, all these things it is providing. So to develop the software applications in a very less time, it help us, and then it is in data independence and efficient use of the data, for uniform data administrations, for data integrity and then security is there, and user friendly, and also the concurrent access and then data recoveries is possible in this. The purpose of the DBMS, this is the flow. The first we can able to get the data, from that we are just getting the information, through that we are getting to the knowledge, based on the knowledge we are going to be processed, and we are just get into the some action. So the flow it matches with the example. So raw into the information, it's a raw data converted into the meaningful information. Here it's 1,000. So 1,000 is nothing but we are just adding the information as a Indian rupees. And then information into the knowledge. So the 1 Indian rupees it's equal to how much of the USD and then euro, like that if you are relating, that is a knowledge. Based on the knowledge we can able to do some analysis. If the Indian rupees value in this particular year, then what it may be in the previous years or what it may be in the future. So these kind of the analysis or action we can able to do this. So this is the purpose of the DBMS. Some basic terminologies of the BBMS we want to know it. So we already discussed database means it's a collection of organized, that is a interrelated data. So database management system, it's a software to use the user to interact with the database. Table, so here the data are stored in a table manner. It's a collection of data that is going to organized in a rows and columns. So that is called as a table. Row means each and every record. It's called as a row. It's a student information. If I'm just storing a single student, that is a one row. So that is called as a record or row. Column or fields. So the properties or attributes of that particular student name, age, register number, marks. So these are all the properties of the student or attribute of the student. So that is stored in a column manner. It is also called as field. Primary key, it is a unique key to identify the each and every record. So that should not be repeated for anyone. It must be a unique. So for example, if we are taking the student ID or register number, it's a primary key. Foreign key means it's a primary key of the another table. So when we want to make the relationship between the two tables, so that time the foreign key will help us. For example, the student table, the primary key is a registration number. If we are taking the department table, department ID is the primary key for that particular table. So when we are just making the relationship between these two things, so the department ID will act as a foreign key under the student table. So like that we can make the relationships. So index, it's nothing but it's a data structure to improving the speed of the data retrieval. It's like as every book we are having the index. What is the purpose we know. So similarly the database also we are maintaining the index. And query, it's a request for data retrieval or doing any manipulations on the data. So it's a structured query language. Like many queries are query languages are available. Here SQL, it's called as a structured query language. Now normalization. So when we are just organizing the data to eliminating the redundancies, that is the repetitions of the data. So we are just applying the normalization to improve our data integrity. Relational database. So the types of the database that use the tabular structure to organizing the data and then relationship between the tables. Structured query language, it is a programming language used for managing and manipulating our databases. So transaction, we know very well. So when we are just transfer the data between the one to another, so at that time the transaction will help us. And asset properties, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and then durability. So this property will guarantee us to giving the reliability. Atomicity is mainly focused on the single unit, and then consistency means it's validating our data. Isolation, it is whenever we are using the transactions or whether it is independent to each other. And durability, it's making the committed transactions or permanent or not. And we are just called as a schema. Schema is nothing but as a blueprint or the structure of our database, including the tables, feeds, relationship, and then constraints. Data dictionary, it is maintained as a repository to store the metadata about the database. That includes the table, columns, and data types and what kind of the relationship they have. Its overall advantages of our DBMS compared with the file system. There is no redundancy. We can maintain the consistency and integrity data concurrency control is there, security and privacy we can do it, and recovery is possible, and easy to retrieve our data, and then flexibilities are available. So these are all the some applications nowadays we are using. uh, all the banking systems, transactions, and then transportation, telecommunication, finance. So maximum all over the data it's going to be involved. The DBMS is the role is taking the main place. Thank you.